Hey there, students. Here's a video to help illustrate how to use StatCrunch to find a confidence interval. And again, this is for a homework problem in Chapter 7. So I'm looking at problem number 9 on the homework assignment for Chapter 7, homework number 9. So it says a study of 420,030 cell phone users found that 136 of them developed cancer of the brain or nervous system. Prior to the study of cell phone use, the rate of such cancer was found to be 0.0347% for those not using cell phones. Complete parts A through B. All right, so here's the first part, the part I want to focus on. Use the sample data to construct a 95% confidence interval estimate of the percentage of cell phone users who developed cancer of the brain or nervous system. So we're supposed to come up with a confidence interval for the percent, which is a proportion. So this is a proportion problem. And what we know is a sample of people and how many of them developed cancer. So I'm going to go to question help and click on StatCrunch, so StatCrunch can help me do this. Let's see here, make this a little smaller. There we go, so I can read the question. All right, so I want to find a confidence interval for a p-value, for a proportion value, and these are for percentages. So I'm going to go to Stat and proportion stats, because this is a proportion calculation, for one sample. Whoops, lost it there. Proportion stats for one sample, and I don't actually have the date of the sample, I just have the summary. So this is going to be one sample with a summary. So it wants to know the number of successes. Again, in this case, getting cancer was a success, just for the terminology. So there were 136 observed cases, and the number of observation was 420,030. Now, we're not going to do a hypothesis test. That's next chapter. We're going to do a confidence interval. And the default is 95%, and that's what they want in this problem, I think. Yeah, find a 95% confidence interval. And that's it. So you put in the number of successes, the number of observations, and the confidence interval level that you want, and we compute. And this little box tells me the things I want to know. So in particular, the confidence interval will be the lower limit, the L limit, and the upper limit. So it's going to be given not in a percent form, but in a decimal form. The problem over here wants the lower percentage and the upper percentage. So I need to convert the decimal into a percentage, which means moving the decimal over 2 places. So I'm basically going to copy this number and skip the first 2 zeros. Or maybe I'll copy the whole number and then I'll move it over 2 places. So if I put in the whole number, I'm going to take out the first couple of zeros because I need to move the decimal over 2 places. And so that's the actual percentage number I want. And then I need to round this to 3 decimal places. So 0 to 6 is the third place, and the next number is a 9, so I'm going to round that to a 7. God darn rounding. Whoops. 7. Okay. So then the next one was the upper limit value in a decimal form. Copy that over there. Since it's in decimal and I want it to be in a percentage, I'm going to move the decimal over 2 places. And the third decimal place, there's a 7 followed by an 8, so I want that to be an 8. So I'm going to get that junk off there and put an 8. So I use StatCrunch to come up with the 95% confidence interval, given 136 successes out of 420,030 trials. And at a 95% confidence interval, I got this range. I put it in the percent format they wanted, and then I can check that they're happy, and that's what they want. So that's how you do that in StatCrunch. Keep up the hard work, everybody.